Well, anyway, we finally get to the last segment. They're already past 10 o'clock, and out come the Buckaroos with Okody and Jungle Jack, the whole Lollipop Guild. They always look ridiculous, but Nikki was wearing Christmas wrapping paper on this one. And then they do the promo, and people aren't caring, and they're not getting a reaction. And Okody speaks a little broken English, and Maddie cuts a promo on Tony. You know, we had no choice but to do what we did because we're going to change the world and save the country or whatever. And they maligned Kenny in Canada and didn't really get any reaction. And they maligned FTR and didn't. And they agreed to the 8-man garbage match, the anarchy in the arena. Didn't we used to call that football field fuckery? And they popped a little bit for that because, okay, here's 8 guys in a fucking garbage match where a bunch of furniture will get broke. So, yeah, that's kind of shit we like. And then FTR's music plays and Cash and Dax come out to a small reaction. And they said they knew it wouldn't be easy, but we found 2 guys to be on Team AEW. And Eddie Kingston comes out, and people come up for that. And then Danielson, and finally the people are up for Danielson. And they get in the ring and just start the same thing they always do. Face off, fight. Everybody runs out to pull them apart, and we go off the air. So now we have another 8-man garbage match with the Buckaroos' group against some baby faces for the fucking pay-per-view. And they think that will artificially inflate their lack of over. I'm talking about the Buckaroos. And that's what that show was. I mean, what the fuck? It's more and more small time in appearance and in execution. Because like you said, I don't know that they're doubling down on purpose. I think that this is what's left is the indie wrestling minded people are in charge and they actually think this shit is good. And there you go.
And we have a heel stable that no one cares about, featuring 2 of the highest paid guys in the company and the Young Bucks. We have a babyface team that...
No, wait a minute. 3 of the highest paid guys.
Oh, that's right. Okada, too. We have a babyface team, Team AEW, the team that represents AEW to battle back against this just NWO of the nursery school. I don't know what this is. That's going to be
Nursery Wrestling Order.
And that's going to be FTR, who never... I don't think they've been less over since they got to AEW. At all. And now fans kind of groan when they come out. And I could tell you, we've seen the feedback. You've probably seen it too. They burned out our fans. They burned out the people who listen to these shows, who were their biggest supporters, who were the reasons they got over in the first place. They burned them out. Eddie Kingston. All right. I mean, I could see how maybe he would be on a Team AEW. He won the Continental Classic. He may be good in a match like that. It's a brawl around the arena. Eddie Kingston, okay. Danielson, Eddie Kingston's blood feud opponent. All of a sudden, he's out there now, part of the heel stable, the BCC.
And also, not only one of the more talented in-ring performers in the business, but a guy with a history of concussions. So let's put him in as many garbage matches as we can.
And this pay-per-view's in what, 2 weeks?
Yeah.
You know, it's not a winning team in AEW right now, behind the scenes, and certainly what's on TV. It doesn't feel like a winning product. It doesn't feel like a winning team. And these guys can go out there and talk about how much they love AEW all they want. Everyone understands what reality is, except for seemingly the people who want to drink the Kool-Aid in AEW and Tony Khan. And all the problems in AEW, it all stems back to Tony Khan. This was all built, not as a business, but so that Shad Khan's son could finally have fun with his hobby. And look at the decisions that have been made, look at the state of the product, listen to their fans and how excited they aren't. And it's a train wreck. And by the way, how's it going to change? Tony going to step back as Booker? Okay, let's imagine that happens. Who's replacing him? Danielson? No, thank you.
Alexandra Pepperday.
Pepperday? No, thank you. Danielson? No, thank you.
Will Wheaton.
QT Marshall? Who's going to replace him? Will Washington. Will Washington's one of the core people involved in all the Swerve stuff.
Oh, boy.
How's that working out?
What's he got against Swerve?
It's his cousin.
Oh, well, fuck. They sure ain't kissing cousins, because you'd have to hate a motherfucker to book him like that.
It's easy to point to guys like us and say you're the problem. Just love wrestling. Just accept that wrestling is wrestling and love all of it, no matter what. There's a real fucking loss of reality when it comes from AEW. AEW can't accept reality in 2024. And right now, it is a sinking ship that nobody believes in.
And I'm going to say this one more time for the cognitively deficient out there that don't get, because Cornette hates him. I've said this from the start. I will repeat it for the people who haven't picked up on it yet. Not the cult of Cornette members out there, but the stray outsiders that we get trying to listen to the program and understand the words coming out of my mouth when they don't pay close attention. This was our chance. This was everybody's chance. The reason we are so mad about the shitty AEW product and the shit job that Tony's done with the whole thing is not because we dislike him personally or we didn't want anybody to get paid, but because this was our chance to have another wrestling promotion with real television and real talent on the roster and a mainstream profile. Even if we're not mad at the WWE anymore because the goddamn, elderly billionaire pervert is gone and it's a new day, that doesn't mean that we want to see the WWE goddamn product exclusively and only for the rest of our lives. We wanted our sports-based wrestling presentation that turned out to be a goddamn indie-rific mud show extravaganza with a bunch of little jack-offs friends. But what we were promised and what we were hoping for is not what we got, and that's why we're pissed. That's why I'm pissed off, because I won't live long enough to see somebody get a chance to do it again. If they ever do, maybe none of you will live long enough, because nobody's going to come along with the stupid amount of money that Tony had at his disposal and get these, after this, especially once you've shit the bed on a national television stage, a lot of these networks are going to go, oh, we don't want any wrestling besides the WWE because, yeah, that other one had all the bells and whistles and a billionaire behind it, and it fucking tanked and the ratings went down. And this was our chance to have another wrestling promotion, and this is the one that Tony gave us. That's why I'm pissed. He had the money, the means, and the connections to do something that nobody else would have been able to do, and something that everybody could have been proud of. He didn't have the common sense to realize that he couldn't fucking do it. He could pay for it. He could make it happen. He would have been the hero to everybody. But he tried to goddamn fulfill his childhood fantasy. And instead of wanting to be a double knot spy or a fucking astronaut, he wanted to be a booker and a promoter. And he booked and promoted the talent that he likes, that he liked on the indies, that he liked on the E-Feds, that he liked when other people that were in their fucking basements, instead of going out and getting a blowjob, would give him good feedback on. And so this is what we got. Children's Outlaw Wrestling. Cow.
And I just get upset because the people who know better, who still pretend on social media, who don't want to call out Tony Khan.
Well, but this is wrestling. There's always going to be people that are going to take his fucking money.
It's not just people take his money. It's people that, really just don't want to call him out for one reason or another. And, I think if you look at the outside interests outside of the patent, outside of Flexingate for the Khan family, did he just buy a bunch of businesses to put his kid in charge? And how many of them have actually done well? We've seen a recent thing. I saw Dave Meltzer put this up, and it was astounding how dumb this was. That Tony was a billionaire on his own, and that his analytics company is a major player. He's not a billionaire. Everything he has is because his dad just handed it to him. What has he taken that his dad gave him and made bigger or better? What sports franchise does he work with where he's not openly mocked by anyone who knows anything about that franchise? It's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And we all have to pretend because he's a really big fan, and he is a big fan. He just doesn't understand it, and he thinks he does. But that was AEW Dynamite.
It sure was. And this is your show.